Alright, so this is the lower body cool down stretch routine. What I'll first start with is the couch stretch. So using something soft like a pillow, towel, you can use like the fancy foam pads, whatever you have. You're going to take your knee, put it all the way up against the wall. So I'm stretching my right hip flexor and quads. Your hands are out in front of you. Your left knee is down on the ground. So that knee, again, is all the way up against the wall. I'm going to squeeze my right glute. That's going to like push my front pocket into the floor. So you can hold this position again for that 30 to 45 seconds. If this doesn't get that good strong stretch, you're going to bring that left leg up, hands right on the inside of that instep, and you're going to squeeze that glute. Same thing, right glute, pushing this right hip forward. You'll feel that tight, strong pull. I usually recommend avoiding this positioning only because most of the motion tends to come from the low back and not from the pelvis. So you can usually get that same sort of stretch from this position, emphasizing that glute squeeze and pushing the hip forward. And you'll switch positions, do the same thing on the other side. The next stretch that you're going to do is going to be the glute stretch. So when you do the glute stretch, what I want is that leg that you're stretching is going to be coming up over this other thigh. This thigh should be perpendicular to the floor. Bring this leg up and over. You're not pulling it to your chest, you're just securing it in place. You're just going to hold this knee where it is. And I'm going to take this part of my hip, kind of that bony prominence at the bottom of your hip here and in the glutes. You're going to push it down towards the floor and push it away from you at the same time. So it should look something like this. And you're going to hold that position for 30 to 45 seconds. It should be strong but comfortable feeling. And then you're going to switch sides. Same thing, thigh perpendicular to the floor, cross that leg over, hold it here, and push down and away. Once you finish those, you're going to move to your hamstring stretch. The hamstring stretch, you're going to put the one leg up on a box, on a bench, something. The standing leg, that toe is going to point towards the stretching leg's foot. The leg that you're stretching, you're going to pull those toes towards you. Stand upright like there's a rod going down through your head, down your spine. And you're going to hold this position, and you can bend at the hips just a little bit. You'll feel that tight pull all along the backside here. What I want to avoid is this bending forward. All you're doing is stretching the low back, and you're not actually hitting the hamstrings. Next thing you're going to be doing is your nerve. I like the nerve sliders. Let me. All right, with this one, while you're doing your nerve sliders, then take that stretchy band, put it around your toe, have that leg up, keeping it nice and straight. I'm squeezing my quad, locking this knee out, pulling the toe towards me, and pushing it away. So I'm just going to cycle back and forth through this position. Emphasizing end range at each position, pulling the toes far forward and pushing as far away. Then you're going to do the cobra stretch or the prone press up. So when you're in this position, you're going to start like you're doing a push up, hands right underneath the shoulders. You're going to extend all the way up and come back down. It should be a nice and smooth and fluid motion. You're not going to hold either position for too long. Just do 10 to 15 repetitions, nice and easy. You can go up, exhale, and then back down as well to get a little bit more pressure. Then, I always recommend just throwing in a little bit of chest stretch because we're so tight, we sit at a desk so much. You're working at a computer, reading, whatever. You're typically going to be tight in the front of the chest and the shoulder joint. So using a stable surface, put your arm up at about 90 degrees from your flank. You're going to have your elbow bent to about 90 degrees and just lean forward and getting that good tight stretch across the front. Again, 30 to 45 seconds. And you can go ahead, switch sides. Lean into it 30 to 45 seconds. Lastly, some good foam rolling. Right, so if you're going to emphasize the lower extremities, Make sure you're hitting along the side, rolling this way. Get the quads, so you'll roll forward and back. You can position yourself to kind of target those glutes in this position by bringing that leg up and over. Key here is kind of assessing your body. How are you feeling? Where are you feeling the compression and the pressure? And using the foam roller to target those really stiff and kind of nagging areas. I typically also recommend every time I hop on the foam roller to do a little bit of some upper back work. Upper backs tend to get excessively stiff just throughout the day, regardless of what we worked out. So again, you can be in these positions. I'm going to arch up and over it. I'm going to move my hips, find a different spot, arch up and over it. Roll it forward, different spot, up and over. I'm just going to keep targeting these areas. You can put your hands behind your head like you're doing the sit-up. Bring the elbows forward and just point your elbows towards the ceiling. And find those different spots. So again, here I'm just kind of working that upper back and trying to mobilize it into extension.